just happened? Hello one and all, welcome to Seeing Through Glass. Welcome to a rather moody Calgary in Canada. This actually marks the end of my relatively short Canadian adventure. As I mentioned a couple of videos ago, I came here to see family, but I wanted to try and make some cool content for you whilst I was visiting this country. Today, I was supposed to be meeting up with a load of local F40s, but yeah, this weather, well, it's cancelled those plans. I know it doesn't look too bad at the moment, but it's been bad and it's going to get worse. So instead, I'm going to do a little bit of exploring, go and visit a new racetrack that's just opened 30 minutes outside of Calgary, and eventually we're going to start heading west, back towards Vancouver, where my return flight will be taking off from. And yeah, just enjoy, I guess, a bit of Canadian scenery and the Bentley Continental that I've been lent whilst I was here. So I seem to have developed this new habit of whenever I arrive into a new city, asking my audience on Instagram for recommendations for coffee. And here in Calgary, I was recommended about 14 different places, all of which looked amazing. So I was stressing this morning as to where I should go. But this place, Monogram Coffee, just a 10-minute walk from my hotel, so it seemed relatively easy. And so far, so good. Firstly, they very kindly let me film them make coffee, which isn't always a given when you go to a cafe. But secondly, they used Oatly. And for those of you who are into non-dairy and your oat milks, you'll know anywhere that uses Oatly is a good cafe. So yeah, I'm feeling positive, I'm feeling excited. And downtown Calgary, it's pretty cool, it's pretty scenic. Right, it is now time to head out of town to Rocky Mountain Motorsports, which is this new circuit they've built about 30 minutes north of Calgary. The track's actually been designed by the Tilke Group. If you don't know who they are, Herman Tilke, the founder of the Tilke Group, has pretty much designed every new Formula One circuit of the last 20 years. And a quick word on this, just in case you haven't seen my last few videos. It's a Continental GTC V8 that Bentley have very kindly lent me for the week. I've done nearly 1,200 kilometers in this car the last couple of days, and it's been perfect. I love these things. I've always loved this generation of the Continental. I've just forgotten how much I love them, honestly. I could live in this car if I needed to. It's fantastic. I did tell you that bad weather was coming. This is why the F40s haven't come out today. It looked all right in Calgary, but yeah, I knew this rain cloud was on its way, and yeah, it's quite full on. Now we're in it, and we really are in it. We're quite high up in and around the Calgary area. It's about 1,100, 1,200 meters above sea level, so you're basically in the clouds anyway. And then when that cloud is a big rain cloud, you feel like you're in a monsoon. Despite that fact, some local nutters are out on track. Important to say that whilst the track is finished, a lot of the sort of infrastructure around the circuit hasn't been built yet. So paddock and pit complexes and things like that, all still to come. But because this place has been created by petrolheads for petrolheads, the most important thing they wanted to do is build the circuit and allow local nutters to go out in it no matter what the weather. And actually there's some proper cars here, so I guess let's head out into the rain, get a bit wet, show you what's knocking around, and then maybe we can do a bit of a demo lap in this car. Not sure how impressed Bentley will be with that, but if it's slow and steady, it'll be fine. Yes, that is a GT2 RS, about to actually go out on track. Madman, lunatic hero. We've got a Corvette I think that's the Z06 with the wing. I'm kind of bad with some of these American cars, but it looks pretty aggressive no matter what. And then next to it, I think that's a 997 Gen 1 GT3 looking lovely. Got a Focus RS. And then down here, some proper track weapons, a little MX-5 or a Miata, because we're in North America, and an RX-8, which looks fully specced out. So yeah, those lads are going to be having a lot of fun, especially because the MX-5 is on slicks. I mean, surely that's not going out. Well, actually, maybe it'd be a ton of fun if it did. And the circuit's just through there. Excuse all of these diggers, they weren't supposed to be here today, but they are. Yeah, my God. That sounds like another Porsche. There goes the 2RS waiting to go out.
It's treacherous out here, so yeah, we'll take it easy. But let's see what's going on.
Well, of course, now that I've left the track, it's stopped raining. I really can't keep up with today's weather. Anyway, it's time to slowly start heading west, because yes, my return flight to the UK leaves from Vancouver, and I'm currently near Calgary, some 1,000 kilometers away. So big drive ahead, but a big drive through one of the most scenic parts of Canada, if not one of the most scenic parts of the world. I'm really hoping some of this cloud cover kind of lifts so I can kind of document it properly. But we'll just see how we go. I'm actually going to be stopping overnight tonight just near Banff, and then doing the majority of the drive tomorrow. Can I just note though, I've just filled up this car with fuel and my range is reading 910 kilometers. I think that's amazing. I mean, it's got a big tank, this car, but it's heavy, it's convertible, it's a Bentley with a huge great V8 engine. 910 kilometers. I didn't think this thing could get any better. It just did. Now, as I'm sure you can imagine, with the amount I'm travelling at the moment, visiting different properties and hotels and dealerships, I'm constantly jumping on and off different Wi-Fi networks, which is why I continue to use NordVPN. I've been using NordVPN for I think about 6 years now, and they've sponsored this channel a couple of times already this year. They are sponsoring today's video, which is kind of perfect because I am constantly jumping on and off different Wi-Fi networks today. If you don't know about NordVPN, they are a virtual private network, and essentially they ensure you and all your information is protected and safe when you go online. Whenever you jump onto a Wi-Fi network, unless it's your own secure network, you never know who might be watching, who might be trying to steal your information. These days, we live our lives online. My entire business is online, so I need to ensure that all of my data, all of my information, everything that's important to me is safe. It's secure and it's protected when I browse the internet. And that is why whenever I'm moving around and whenever I'm joining any Wi-Fi networks when I'm traveling, I always have NordVPN activated. It can also allow you to enjoy your favorite entertainment from Netflix, or for me, the F1. As I move around, I'm able to still enjoy my programs from the UK no matter where I am, or access things like Netflix Canada and get some access to some programs that I don't usually get in the UK. So yes, essentially, if you want to ensure that you're always safe when you're browsing online, but also enjoy the internet to the fullest, check out NordVPN. They are offering you an amazing deal if you use my link in the description below. So make sure to check that out. And as I say, protect yourself moving forward. Anyway, let's carry on. Well, good morning. It's the next day. Unfortunately, the weather still not fantastic. It's just stopped raining. So for now, I reckon we crack on, because I've still got about 6 hours or something like that to Vancouver, which will be easy in this car. It'll actually be lovely in this car. I just got a coffee, gonna get my massage seat on, settle in, and I reckon because the weather's not fantastic, let's skip ahead and you'll join me there in Vancouver. The sun has finally come out, finally. Sort of. And that is a good thing, because exciting things are about to happen. Yesterday, when my plans were cancelled due to the rain, I was a bit deflated. I was like, what's the car angle to this video gonna be? But then one of my Instagram followers, a legend called Eddie, got in touch. Said, I've got an interesting proposition for you. That proposition was to drive this, a Lamborghini Gallardo Squadra Corse. So if you don't know, you are looking at one of the rarest Lamborghinis ever made. There were just 50 Squadra Corses built by Lamborghini back in, I think, 2013 or 2014. This was the Gallardo's last hurrah, the last variant that we saw before the Huracan came along. And essentially, actually it wasn't even a celebration of the Super Trofeo race car, it was a road-going version of the Super Trofeo race car. What I would love is some Lambo nerd to kind of point out the key differences between this and the Super Trofeo Stradale, the STS, because I thought that was also a road-going version of them. Anyway, let's not get into it. But yeah, this thing was incredibly special. Got a lot of unique touches. We had the sort of facelifted front end that the Gallardo got halfway through its life cycle. Loads of carbon fibre. There's carbon fibre everywhere, carbon ceramic brakes, and then two sort of most noticeable things to tell that you're looking at a Squadra Corse if you can't actually look in the window and see the lovely plaque. It's firstly the Italian flag decal or stripe on the side, and then this big old wing, because this came directly from the race car and it is super aggressive. But plenty of other sort of lightweight components. You can see here this kind of rear engine deck that just pops out. You can lift the whole thing off with one hand apparently. Super aggressive but super light. It's kind of additional little ducktail spoiler underneath that main wing. And then I think, well, most fun for us, not only the big old diffuser, but that exhaust. Let me explain a little more. Because yes, whilst this car is super rare, if you watch a lot of car YouTube, you might actually be quite familiar with it, because this car was previously owned by Dave from Daily Driven Exotics, one of the biggest car YouTube channels in the world. If you are familiar with DDE, you'll know that means this car isn't exactly stock. So this exhaust is a straight through Capristo system. I just got a teaser of it on the way here. It is absolutely spectacular and is going to change all of our lives. If you haven't heard this car, it's mind-boggling. But then also, if you come up here, you'll notice a little sticker with the letters VF. That stands for VF Engineering, because this car has a supercharger fitted to it. The 5.2 litre V10 engine, which as stock puts out around 570 horsepower, plenty, is now putting out around 800 horsepower. Look at this little car. That's what I love about the Gallardo. I've always had a soft spot for this car because it's so small. Such a beautiful design in my opinion. But yeah, this particular example, not only hardcore track focused, but now super powerful. It's special inside as well as outside. One thing to note, this car has the sort of fixed carbon seats, and at 6'2" like I am, it's not a great thing because you basically can't adjust them. You can move forward and back, but that's it. So it's a lot, and you might notice my head is touching the roof. Anyway, I've got Rohan, the owner, very kindly sitting next to me, who's going to oversee what I'm doing, but also, I guess, ensure that I enjoy the car. Right? Yeah, okay. So thank you so much for this experience. It's going to be super special. I've always liked the Gallardo, and I feel like with time I've started to like them even more. And this is kind of like numero uno, right? This is
like
the one.
Our generation, like poster child car almost.
I think so. Right. Okay. So, still got a key. How nice is that? A manual key. Turn that all in, let everything boot up. E-gear, must mention that because of course this was the last of the Gallardo generation, which meant we're still running that kind of slightly old and lurchy E-gear. But if you're driving a car from a previous generation, just be aware that it might not have the latest tech. I don't mind that. Okay, I think we're good to go. I did mention that exhaust, didn't I? Just wait until we get moving. It's a joke. Okay. Right, rocking and rolling. I'm going to let you be like, oh, you're switching me straight into Corsa mode, are
That's
you?
the only way to go.
Okay. I'm going to let you be like my driving instructor. So just shout out.
Which way? We're just going to go up and go left.
Okay, perfect. Let me adjust that mirror slightly. Yeah, so you all know I'm a big modern classics fan. This is my whole jam, this is my era. And actually, 2013, 2014, when this car came along, we're kind of past what I would consider the modern classic era. But Lambo being Lambo, they're never really in a rush. Sorry, thank you. They're never really in a rush to replace models. You know, at this point, the Gallardo had been around for about 10 years. We all know the Aventador's been around for about 30 years. So I guess they were a bit behind the times, but this still represents that bygone era. As I said, for me and for Rohan, growing up, these were cars that we saw on the street that we kind of lusted after. They were in popular culture and all these different things, and the boxy shape of the Gallardo has always been so all-win for me. It's tiny when you see it on the road, it's absolutely tiny. But this one is not just about the way it looks and what it reminds us of, it's about the way it can perform and the way this one particularly sounds, which, yeah, is silly. Oh my god, look at these views! We are about maybe an hour south of Vancouver with no traffic, maybe 40 minutes, but can you even hear me anymore? I don't know. This thing is so loud. Revs all the way up to actually over 8,000 RPM, and at the minute we're at 3. So that just gives you a little bit of an inkling of how silly it can get. Yes, that's all we want. That's all we want. And you've got to think, I haven't really even tapped into the supercharger element of this particular car, which is then just going to push us even further forward. Oh, I'm excited. I'm already loving this. Gallardos, I think, are overlooked, and especially these super legit versions. Only 50 of these cars were made. It means that, as a sort of investment piece, this is genuinely something you should be looking at. Probably £250,000 for one of these things. And if you look at like a 458 Speciale, which arguably was the kind of competitor from Ferrari at the time, they're long gone, long gone. So why wouldn't you look at a Gallardo in the same breath? For now, I'm trying to be fairly respectful to the neighbourhood, because if we wake this thing up, everyone around here is going to wake up. See what I mean? No. Do you not just get stopped by police every day in this thing?
I'm pretty amazed I've not been pulled over yet.
It's unreal. And bright yellow, something we should actually mention, because the I keep on calling it the Super Trofeo Stradale, but that's not what this is. It's the Squadra Corse. It was only offered, I think, in like 4 colours in general, but for the North American market, it only came in yellow. That was it. You went, listen, I'll have the car. They went, fine, your yellow one will be here soon. Didn't matter what you thought. So I guess people maybe get them and wrap them, but it's also kind of the specialness of it, because when you see the car, you immediately kind of know what it is. I think the other colours, well, I've seen a few red ones in Germany. I think there was silver, there was black as well, but yeah, this kind of triple layered yellow is pretty special. And you can see all the bits inside as well with the seats and the dash. It's a lovely, lovely thing. Anyway, we'll go a little bit further down the road, and then, yeah, maybe sneak above the 4,000 RPM line. Oh my, what just happened? I wasn't expecting that.
I told you.
I mean, I was not expecting that. Okay, this car needs to be driven, like really hard. Driven, like hard, like when that supercharger kicks in, the car's like, oh, okay, off we go. Wow. And the sound also transforms from this like to like, oh my god, this is incredible. Okay, if you're looking at investing into a Squadra Corse, I suggest it, get a supercharger fitted. You can always take it off. You can always it's not, you know, you don't have to keep it forever, but it will transform your experience. Because I bet the stock car these days might feel a little bit lethargic, especially with the E-gear. But having that fitted, and actually the gearbox has been good, huh?
Yeah, I've never had any issues, knock on wood, with
Because, you know, you immediately think Gallardo E-gear, like, oh, that's trouble. We're going straight over.
Yeah, straight over.
You think that's going to be super lethargic, but actually, it really cracks on and it feels snappy. This thing is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm trying to work out if I've driven a supercharged V10 engine at all. I have a friend in the UK, Supercars of London.
Yeah.
He's obsessed with the things, and he always tells me, oh, they're on, but I think I have driven one. Anyway, this is
Nuts.
mind-boggling. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Never sell this. I mean, I'm sure you're going to get...
I got an offer this morning.
I say you're going to be getting a lot of offers. Because I'm going to ram it home one more time. And I'm not just saying this because the very kind gentleman who owns it is sitting next to me. I do think these are overlooked investment opportunities. Okay, it's really hard to say that cars are good investments, but people always message me, what should I buy? What are modern classics are good to buy that might hold value or could be good for the future? And I just look at all these Superleggera, Super Trofeo Strali, and then this being the ultimate. It's just overlooked gems. And if you're into the slightly older cars like me, this is everything you want. It's just enough electronics, but also the rawness of it. It's so good. And the slightly dated interior, which I also love. That's not a negative. Oh my god. Oh god, we're going to have to do one more pull out, maybe. Yeah. I just want to go to the desert and just keep going. Wow. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Not that long ago, I toyed with the idea of getting a Gallardo Superleggera, a Mark 1, a Gen 1 Superleggera. I sort of dismissed it, but now I'm so back into it because that was amazing. An incredible experience and a fantastic way to end my journey here to Canada. Huge thanks to everyone that's helped me out during this relatively short trip. It's been a wicked few days. I hope you've enjoyed the content. Give it a thumbs up if you have, and stay subscribed because next up, we're headed to the Mille Miglia in my Ferrari 360. See you soon.